Hi, this is Deborah from Dinglefoot.com, and today I want to show you how to make these really neat little paper flowers. And all you need is an old paperback book and a scalloped round punch. The one I used for these was 1 7/16 inches. So I needed that. We need something to poke a hole through the middle of our paper pieces and a little mini brad to hold them all together. And then if you want to brighten them up, you need a couple inks. I used 3 Ranger Distress inks on this flower, and on this one I used Stickles, but you can keep them just plain the way they are. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do those. Alright, here's an old book I got at Goodwill or something. Kind of hurt me to do this at first because I really love books, but there's so many books you can find at yard sales. They're just junk, or even old textbooks that you get. So I found this old book, and all you do is rip out a couple pages. And you might be asking, what do you do if these papers have acid in them? If you really care about that, for a card or whatever you're going to use it for a scrapbook, you definitely do not want something with acid in it. But you can get a little pH tester pen, and all you do is just mark on the paper somewhere. You can see that this was purple when I put it on, and now it's slowly turning to a yellow color, which according to my marker is not good. That means that this paper has acid in it. So if you do not want it to have acid in it, you can get a little spray like this, make it acid free, just give it a little shake, and spray all your paper before you ever begin cutting it. So if I give this a little spray here, I would want to cover all my paper, of course, but you can see my mark turned purple, which is really good. That means that it has taken the acid out. And there are other soaks you can do to accomplish the same thing, but they'll take time, and you have to watch that you don't tear your paper while you're at it. But I just prefer to use the spray. So we have our couple pieces of paper here from the book, and all you do is just trim off these edges so that we can punch right against the text. So I'm going to take my little paper cutter here, just trim my paper around. It doesn't have to be real accurate, just so we can have the usable part where we need it. Cut that off. Okay, and then all I need to do is take my punch here, and we're going to make as many flowers out of the paper as we can. This one, I don't take the time to really line it up because I have so much of the paper. Just punch them out, and we're going to need 16 of these little circles. Kind of got stuck in there. 16 circles like this. So keep punching your paper till you have all 16. And then what we're going to do is put them in a little pile like this. Don't line up the scalloped edges on them. See how mine are just not lined up? I just put them together in a little pile. And the next step we need to do, I'm going to have to use this little cutting mat here, is take a needle or some kind of paper punch, put this down, and make a hole right through the middle. And this really isn't that hard to go through. Let's see what we got here. Okay, see my needle went the whole way through, which is good. So then we just take our little brad, poke that through the center, and spread out the prongs on the back. From there, all we need to do is take this first layer here. You can probably see my fingers sparkling. I have stickles all over them. But take this and just smush it all up. And then take the next layer and do the same. We're going to do the same for all these layers the whole way down to probably the last 3 or 4. And we'll just leave those the way they are. Okay? Okay, you can see on my flower I've smushed these layers all up. Let's see how many I have left on the bottom here. Probably about 5 or so. So I could smush a couple more. You really don't have to do those bottom couple. But see now they're really tightly smushed, and now all you do is just kind of fluff them out so it looks like a flower. And see how neat that is? You could just use it like that. It just looks kind of vintagey because my book was older. Or you can take your Ranger inks and do a little bit of decoration on them. I have, let's see, I have peeled paint, spiced marmalade, and broken china here. So first, I'm just going to take my peeled paint, and I'm just going to take my flour and just kind of mush it down in there. If you want to separate the layers out a little bit to get it down in there, you can. I'm just going to kind of smush the top. See that? And next I'll take some spiced marmalade, give it a little bit of brighter color here. I'm going to mush that down in there. If you really mush the flowers, it'll get down into the petals further, as you can see there, not just on the edges. And here I'm just kind of making a little hole first and then mushing it down in there. Okay, so I have a little color on my flower. Do that all around. And now I'm going to take my broken china and just add just a little tad of that. This has a really neat vintage look if you mix a couple colors together like this. You can see that. And also like this flower here, I just took my stickles, platinum stickles, and just went around on the edges of the petals there. And that has a really neat look, especially for wedding albums or wedding cards or any of that sort of thing. You could even do stickles that match the color of the wedding. So that's a neat idea too. I hope you enjoy making these. They're so easy, and there's so many books that you can find everywhere that no one wants anymore. So there's plenty of things out there to make them with and have fun.